I'm James Couey, VP of Customer Support and Success for VersiTech. I've been in the hospitality industry for 20 plus years. I actually started as a dishwasher in a kitchen and then moved through all the roles. Dishwasher, was a sous chef, was actually an executive chef, was a private chef for Larry King for years and a few other people. And then I started to get curious about the front of the house and wanted to understand the business holistically. So I went to the front of the house, worked through all the positions: food runner, server, manager, general manager, regional manager. And then I realized that it was difficult to have a family and work-life balance in the restaurant industry. So I started getting into the technology side of things and then moved on to a reseller and sold point of sale for NCR Aloha for years, and then worked to get that company acquired and sold. So we went public on NASDAQ, retired for 4 years and was kind of hanging out and enjoying life, and quite candidly got bored. So started looking around to see who was the big mover and shaker in the industry right now, and Tonic and VersiTech were very interesting to me. So threw my hat in the ring and started as a director of POS support, and then moved my way up to VP within the first year. Since I have owned restaurants and worked in restaurants for so many years, I have a lot of empathy for those operators that some people in this vertical, in this space, miss. And I think that helps me provide better service to the end users, the merchants and the partners, as well as instill that empathy in my teams so that we understand when the system goes down or something's not working how it's supposed to work, what that means to the business, how that impacts the servers, how that impacts the owners, and how it impacts sometimes even the service to the customers. And so we're able to engage and ask the right questions, understand the impact, and then sometimes come around with creative solutions to address those issues. When I first started in management, I felt like I had to control everything. I had to have my hands in everything. I had to make all the decisions. And I realized pretty quickly, not only was that not scalable, but I wasn't growing and mentoring the people that were working for me. And that's really where I get my satisfaction from this job, is helping others develop, improving their lives, their skill sets, their families, and being able to empower them to make those decisions. And once I did that, it was amazing. We were making decisions faster, we were solving problems quicker, provide service to the end users that was seamless, and I didn't have to be involved every day, which meant that I could coach more, I could mentor more, I could develop people, and basically train everyone to have my job one day. A good example is if we get an inbound call and a client's wondering why their fees are more, and we look into it, and a lot of times we'll see their fees were higher because they sold more. And rather than just explaining to them that your sales were higher and so your fees ended up being higher, not as a percentage, but as a dollar amount. And instead of going that approach, we like to celebrate the wins with them and congratulate them on growing their business and be there to facilitate any additional growth or any way that we can support them to develop their business and grow. And we're here to be a trusted advisor and provide best practices and be the expert in point of sale and processing, so that these operators can spend time running their business and operating the restaurant and do what they're good at. We had a large hospitality group engage with us very recently, and they were looking for an extremely aggressive rollout schedule. It went from talking about possibly installing our product to them wanting us to install 7 sites over a few weeks. And it was intimidating, and the team rose to the occasion, rose to the challenge. We had people that were willing to travel and support and assist, that it wasn't their direct role, so that we could all win together. And to see the team really rise to the occasion and go above and beyond to support the client, make sure we could hit the deadlines that they designed and what they were asking for, was really cool to see. People with diverse backgrounds, diverse skill sets, coming together as a united front. It's really how I run my teams, is from that thought that we are all human. Everyone makes mistakes, and I'm not here to be punitive when they make mistakes or here to discipline them in a negative way when they make mistakes. They're empowered to make those decisions, and if they happen to make the wrong decision, it's not a public conversation, it's a private conversation with them so that we can recalibrate or evaluate different ways that we could have handled that situation. And I find that when we do it that way, the employee learns a little more of the thought process of why we do things a certain way, which then empowers them and assists them further down the road to make those right decisions, to be able to get creative and know that we'll always have their back. Pre-workout all day long. Been a competitive bodybuilder for years. Recently recovered from an injury. I've had 4 spine surgeries and was not expected to walk from an injury in the gym. And so pre-workout all day long so I can keep pushing through and chasing those goals. Most definitely, that's my happy place. You'll find me most mornings, 5 a.m. in the gym grinding. And that's really where I get my mindset for the day and prepare for what I'm gonna do that day or what's on the agenda so that I can have some quiet time by myself to really think through, get strategic, and attack the day. Trust but verify. Very, very trusting and trust our teams, but a lot of times I will go and just check on the quality of work, not everything that they do, you know, little spot checks just to make sure that we're on the right path and everyone's singing the same song.